welcome in online series of machine design. Myself Namisha Goswami, and in today's lecture we will discuss about basic load rating of rolling contact bearing. So in last lecture, in previous lecture, we have covered that topic, basic load rating for rolling contact bearing. But in this lecture I will continue that topic, and including with this I will continue one more topic, that is your dynamic load rating. Okay, so what was the static load rating condition, or you can say that basic static load. So from Strybeck equation, the basic load rating you can see here, it is denoted by C0, right? And from Strybeck equation, the basic static load rating is defined. Okay, so we have discussed this in last lecture. Basic static load may be possible for roller bearing and for the ball bearing. And again there are two conditions. First one is it may be for radial load and it may be for axial load, right? So totally there are the four conditions. First is static radial load for ball bearing and static axial load for ball bearing, right? So two conditions. Other two conditions are static radial load for roller bearing and static axial load for roller bearing. So there are the four conditions. Okay, so what is this? Which is correspond to total permanent deformation of which type of the ball? What is the condition of deformation? So we have seen here, this is the most heavily, or we can say that the ball which is having most load, or you can say that highest load of bearing or highest load on wall will be considered. So it is equal to 0.0001 times of your ball diameter, or you can say that roller diameter. When we will talk about your ball bearing, so we will say that it is 0.001 times of your ball diameter, and when we will consider the load condition for roller bearing, so we will take this amount should be this times of your roller diameter. Okay, so this is the basic condition. So from Strybeck equation, this definition or this was explained by Strybeck equation. So now for radial load, okay, so first condition is for radial ball bearing. Okay, so what is the radial ball bearing and what is the basic static load? So you can see here it is denoted by C0, and this is equal to F0 I Z D square cos alpha. Okay, so these all parameters have their specific symbol or specific notation. So what is mean by, first of all, F0. So F0 is your factor which is depend on which type of bearing we are using, right? I is equal to number of rows of ball in any one bearing. Okay, so we have discussed that, or we have seen that in classification of bearing, there is a single row ball bearing and there may be double row ball bearing. So I indicate here number of rows in ball. Okay, Z is equal to number of ball per row. If there are two rows we are using in bearing, so what is Z? Z is number of balls in one row. Okay, or you can say that per row, right? And D is equal to diameter of balls. Okay, because we are talking about ball bearing. When this condition will be used for roller bearing, so diameter may be changed for your roller bearing. Alpha, what is alpha? So it is a nominal angle of contact. Okay, so the nominal angle, what is now? This point will become in our mind. What is nominal angle? So nominal angle between line of action of ball. For example, this is line of action of ball, and okay, for example, this is line of action of ball and plane perpendicular to the axis of ball bearing. Okay, so for example, this is line of action of ball, or this is your plane where ball bearing is acting, or plane perpendicular. Okay, so that angle is known as your nominal angle, right? And F0, I have already told you. What is this? It is factor which is depend upon type of bearing. So its value for different types of bearing. So you can see here F0 is equal to 3.33 for self-aligned bearing and 12.3 for radial contact, or you can say that angular contact groove wall bearing. So these are the particular, this is the particular formula, and these are the particular specification of each and every term. Right. Now for radial roller bearing, I have explained one thing for ball bearing and second for your radial roller bearing. So C0 is equal to again F0 I Z LED cos alpha. Okay. So F0 is same as we have discussed in ball bearing. I is same, Z is same. But what is the LE? So LE is equal to your effective length of contact. Effective means what is actual length of bearing will come in contact. So it is equal to overall length. For example, overall length is given 10, right? And minus roller chamfer or grinding undercuts. So for example, there is a length of 2 mm and chamfering is given, total length is 10 mm and chamfering is given only 2 mm. So this is total equivalent length is equal to 8 mm. 10 minus 2, so this is equal to 8 mm. Okay. F0 is again factor. So this is equal to 21.6 for particular material. So material, if we will use the hardened steel to made the roller. Okay. So F0 is equal to 21.6 for hardened steel. Okay. So these are the same, alpha is your nominal angle. Again, static equivalent load for rolling contact bearing. So we have discussed each and everything. Okay. So again there is one classification, or you can say, sorry, not classification, another definition. You can say that when this is the static equivalent load. So you can see here we have discussed about the basic static load rating, right? So this is your static equivalent load. There is two difference. These two parameters are the different. First one was the basic static load and this is your static equivalent load. Okay. So what is mean by your static equivalent load? So static equivalent load may be defined as static radial load. So in case of radial wall or maybe radial roller bearing. Okay. Similarly, axial load. So axial may be also possible for your thrust wall or roller bearing. Okay. So you can say that for ball bearing or for roller bearing. When these loads are applied, will cause the same total permanent deformation. Okay. What is the mean by this? Whenever these load will be applied on overall system of ball, will cause the same deformation as caused by the most heavily or most stretched ball. Okay. In actual condition. Okay. So this is the definition of your static equivalent load for rolling contact bearing. Okay. So these are known as, okay, how you will define, I am again explaining it. These load when applied will cause the same permanent deformation as cause, how much deformation? Okay, will same deformation when is equal to deformation occur in most heavily body in actual condition. Okay, when we are considering the actual condition for what? So we are considering actual condition for most heavily loaded ball, right? So this is equal to static loading. So this is known as your static equivalent load. Okay. So this is denoted by WOR. Okay. So static equivalent load is denoted by this fundamental. Okay. So static equivalent radial load. Okay. So again, this is your radial load, right? So radial load for roller bearing under combined and axial thrust load, so is given by greater magnitude of those obtained by two equations. So now question will arise, how to find out static equivalent radial load when there is axial load is present and their radial load is also present. Or you can say that when bearing is loaded by both type of load. First is axial load and second one is your radial load, right? So how we will find out the static equivalent radial load? So this is equal to WOR is equal to X0 WR plus Y0 WA. Now WR we know, what is WR? So WR is indication of your radial load and WA is your indication of your axial load. Now what are the X0, Y0? So these are the bearing factors. So X0 is radial load factor and Y0 is your axial load factor. Okay? Or second equation is WOR is equal to WR. So how we will take the WOR? There are the two equations. For example, from first one equation we will get this is equal to 10 kilonewton, and from second equation we will get WR is equal to 12 kilonewton. So we have to take the larger value from these two equations. So we will consider final 12 kilonewton is equal to your static equivalent radial load. Okay? Next, okay, so WR is equal to here radial load, WA is axial thrust load, X0 is your radial load factor and Y0 is your axial load factor. Okay, now second thing is your basic dynamic load rating. We have discussed about basic static load rating, right? So second point is your, what about basic dynamic load rating or load carrying capacity? Okay, so in similar way we will define this condition also. Okay, so the basic dynamic load rating is defined as static radial load in case of either ball bearing or maybe for your roller bearing. Okay, but static radial load for there may be case of ball bearing, there may be case of your roller bearing, or constant axial load. So axial load is again for two conditions, for ball bearing and for roller bearing. So there are total four conditions: radial load for ball, radial load for roller, axial load for ball bearing and axial load for roller bearing. So there are the four conditions. Okay, which a group of apparently identical bearing with a stationary outer ring. What is mean by this? When outer ring, we have seen the diagram of your bearing in previous lecture. So there was two rings, outer ring and inner ring, right? Or you can say that outer races or inner races. Okay, for example, this is your outer race, so there may be your inner race, right? So when we consider outer ring is your stationary. Okay, so outer ring can endure for a rating life of 1 million. 1 million means 10 raised to power 6 revolution. Okay, with only 10% failure. What is mean by this overall sentence? So I will explain in simple language. It is mean by when dynamic load rating either for static radial load or either for axial load for roller bearing, for ball bearing. Okay, so what is the mean by when group of stationary ball bearing? Okay, for example, there are group of 100 ball bearings are present, right? So in that condition, if 90% pass that loading condition without failure, okay, how much revolution may be there? There may be revolution of 10 raised to power 6 revolution, right? So 10 raised to power 6 revolution withstand by 90 ball bearing without failure out of 100, right? Only 10% bearing or 10 bearing will be failed out. So out of 100, 90 will pass out that condition without failure or withstand that 1 million revolution without failure, and only 10 bearing will be failed out. So this at this condition the load, dynamic load, is known as your dynamic load rating and it is denoted by C. Okay. Now, so what is, how to find out? By using equation dynamic load, equivalent load. So W is equal to X VWR plus Y into WA, right? So what is X and Y? We have seen that X0 was the radial load factor in case of static loading condition. Here X and Y are, X is your radial load factor but for dynamic condition. Similarly, Y is your axial load factor but for your dynamic load condition. Similarly, WR and WA is same, indicate the same thing, radial load and axial load. So, and what is V? V is your rotational factor and its value is different for different type of bearing. So, V is equal to 1. Okay, what is the condition for the V is equal to 1? When inner race is rotating condition. So, we will consider the rotational factor is equal to 1. Similarly, V is equal to 1 also for the self-aligned bearing when inner race is stationary. So, these are the two conditions when we will consider V is equal to 1. Now, last one is your V is equal to 1.2. Okay, so this is applicable for all bearing, but what is the acceptable condition? So, this is not used for self-aligned bearing when inner race is stationary. Okay, when inner race is stationary, so V is equal to 1. Okay, so these were the condition. Thank you. Keep watching.